Today we're going to talk about polynomial long division. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's long division using polynomials. Before we do one of those, we're going to do one of these basic divisions. And the reason is because the process that we use for this basic division is actually the same process we use for the polynomial division. So let's go ahead and do 937 divided by 4. Right? So to do this, we start by asking how many times does 4 go into 9? 4 goes into 9 2 times. Next, we're going to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract that. I have 1 left over. Bring down the 3. Now I need to ask how many times does 4 go into 13? 4 goes into 13 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract that, I have 1. Bring down my 7. So now I need to see how many times does 4 go into 17. 4 goes into 17 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. And if I subtract that, I have 1 left over. Right? And you could continue this and write your answer as a decimal. Or, a lot of times, your answer is written this way. 234 remainder 1. Right? And I want to talk about what this answer really means. Right? What it really means is you've got 234 and 1 left over. Right? Or if you think of this in terms of 937 objects being divided up for 4 people. Right? Each person would get 234 whole objects, and then there would be 1 object that would be left over that has to be divided up for those 4 people. So each one of those 4 people would get 1/4 extra. So again, 937 objects divided up for 4 people would mean each person gets 234 whole objects, and then they would get an extra 1/4. So they would get 234 and 1/4 objects. Okay? All right, now we're going to use that same process, and we're going to divide this polynomial by this polynomial. All right, so let's go ahead and do 10x cubed minus 34x squared plus 27x minus 6. Divide that by 5x minus 2. All right, the key in doing this is that you need to know where to focus your attention. Right? We're going to focus on this 5x and this 10x cubed. Let's focus and think, how many times does 5x go into 10x cubed? Or in other words, what would I need to multiply 5x by to get me 10x cubed? And the answer is 2x squared. Right? So 5x goes into 10x cubed 2x squared times. Next step, let's multiply. So 2x squared, we need to multiply that by 5x minus 2. So that's going to get me 10x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 is going to get me negative 4x squared. Right? And just like regular division, we need to subtract now. Here's where you have to be careful. So let's do 10x cubed minus 10x cubed, which gets me 0. Now we need to do negative 34x squared minus a negative 4x squared. Right? When you subtract a negative, that's the same thing as adding. So what we really have here is negative 34x squared plus 4x squared. That's going to get me negative 30x squared. Right? Again, negative 34, this becomes plus 4x squared. So that gets me negative 30x squared. All right. Let's keep going. Let's bring down this 27x. And let's repeat this process. So let's focus on this 5x and this negative 30x squared. How many times does 5x go into negative 30x squared? And the answer is negative 6x times. Now we're going to multiply. Negative 6x times this 5x minus 2. Right? That's going to be negative 30x squared plus 12x. Right? Now we're going to subtract. All right, just like before, you got to be careful with your subtraction. So negative 30x squared minus a negative 30x squared. This is going to become plus. So negative 30x squared plus 30x squared is going to be 0. Over here, 27x minus 12x is going to be 15x. Let's bring down our negative 6. All right, now let's focus on this 5x and 15x. How many times does 5x go into 15x? The answer is 3 times. Let's multiply. 3 times 5x minus 2 is going to get me 15x minus 6. Let's go ahead and subtract that. So 15x minus 15x is 0. And then negative 6 minus a negative 6. This becomes plus 6. So negative 6 plus 6 is also 0. Right? So we have nothing here at the end, which means there's no remainder. So the final answer is 2x squared minus 6x plus 3. All right, I'm going to do one more with you, and then the last one you're going to try on your own. All right, so this time we're going to take this top polynomial and divide it by this bottom polynomial. So let's do 8x to the 4th minus 22x cubed plus 17x squared minus 9x plus 14, and divide that by 2x minus 3. All right, so let's repeat the same process. Let's see how many times 2x goes into 8x to the 4th. Right, it goes in 4x cubed times. Now we're going to multiply. 4x cubed times this 2x minus 3. That's going to be 8x to the 4th minus 12x cubed. Let's subtract. 8x to the 4th minus x to the 4th, that's 0. Here, you have to be careful. Negative 22x cubed. Subtracting a negative, the same thing as adding. So negative 22x cubed plus 12x cubed is going to be negative 10x cubed. All right, let's bring down this 17x squared. And we're going to focus on just this 2x and this negative 10x cubed. 2x goes into negative 10x cubed minus 5x squared times. All right, now we're going to multiply negative 5x squared by this 2x minus 3. That's going to get me negative 10x cubed plus 15x squared. Let's subtract. Negative 10x cubed, this becomes plus, so negative 10x cubed plus 10x cubed is 0. 17x squared minus 15x squared, that's going to be 2x squared. Let's bring down my negative 9x. All right, so how many times does 2x go into 2x squared? Well, just 1x, or plus x, times. All right, let's multiply x by this 2x minus 3. That would be 2x squared minus 3x. Again, we're going to repeat the process. Let's subtract. So 2x squared minus 2x squared, that's 0. And then negative 9x minus a negative 3x, that's negative 9x plus 3x. So that would be negative 6x. Almost done here. Bring down the 14. How many times now does 2x go into negative 6x? The answer would be negative 3. We've got to multiply. Negative 3 times this 2x minus 3 is going to get me negative 6x plus 9. Right? And when we subtract that, negative 6x minus a negative 6x, or plus 6x, this is going to be 0. And then 14 minus 9 is going to be 5. All right, so now we've got a remainder here, because we can't really take 2x and have that go into 5. We have a remainder. So there's 5 left that has to be divided by 2x minus 3. So our answer is going to be this: 4x cubed minus 5x squared plus x minus 3 plus 5 over 2x minus 3. There's my answer. All right, there's one last one here. You are going to try this one on your own. Okay, and I would strongly recommend, if you're having trouble with this, to re-watch this video. Right, and watch it, pause it, go as slow as you need to. Right, and try this one here to see if you got it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that when you divide this, this is going to be your final answer. Right, that way you can check to see how you're doing. All right, we'll talk more about this in class tomorrow.